This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson. Jeff Andrulonis is off tonight. The big story on the 6 o'clock report today marks the 11th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. It had been hoped that a September 11th museum would be completed by now in New York City, but a year-long political fight over who would foot the bill wasn't resolved until yesterday. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo won the argument that it has to be private funding, not taxpayer dollars. Today means something different for every American. All of us have a memory of that fateful day. WVTT's Derek Smith reports on how this anniversary is affecting folks in the Twin Tiers.
On the morning of September 11, 2001, our lives were forever changed as a nation. At approximately 8:46, Flight 11 had been reportedly hijacked and then crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, killing all 88 people in the plane. Shortly after 9:03, Flight 175 hijacked, then crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. 65 people perished. It didn't stop there. At 9:38, Flight 77 hijacked, crashed into the Pentagon, killing all 64 members on board, including the members on the ground. 9:59, the South Tower collapsed, killing everyone inside. 10:10, Flight 93 crashed in Shanksville after the plane was taken over by crew members. All 41 members on board died. And finally, 10:28, the North Tower World Trade Center collapsed. That day, all 266 passengers died on all 4 flights, and over 3,000 people died. There was no greater tragedy than what happened on that horrific morning, September 11th, 2001. And it's up to us to remember the lives that have been lost. Here at the St. Bonner University, a memorial service was held in honor of those who had perished that morning. And I went around and asked, where were you when the towers fell?
I was in 2nd grade in Texas, and our school was put on lockdown. And when I got home from school, my dad came home from work. She never really did. And we just watched the TV, and it really has saved me all this time.
I was here at St. Bonaventure and working in Hopkins Hall, and we got word that a plane had hit the World Trade Center and proceeded to watch it on television as it unfolded.
I had sort of the opposite experience. I was at Olean Middle School, which had just opened the new building that 2 weeks earlier. We did not have all of the technology up and running, so we had no ability to follow it, except through phone calls from family members to family members who were in New York and were also in our building. So we followed it that way, sort of vicariously.
I was in the bathroom at the time, but when I came back, there was an announcement that there had been a plane that crashed into the first tower. It's really great. I mean, it's a really tragic event, and the fact that we can all come together for it is pretty much what we were about here.
Here at St. Bonaventure University, community members have all gathered to show and share their respect for those that they've lost in the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Members from all over the community, students, parents, faculties have gathered here to pay their respects to the ones that were lost on that tragic day. Lives were lost that day, but we will never forget. Derek Smith here in St. Bonaventure University, WVTT.
The federal government will include about 50 types of cancer on the list of September 11th World Trade Center related illnesses covered by a program to pay for health coverage. Democratic New York Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Charles Schumer and the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health announced that change yesterday. Well, an Allegheny County runway is getting a facelift. Yesterday, U.S. Senators Charles Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand also announced the Federal Aviation Administration has awarded almost $256,000 in federal grants to the town of Wellsville for important improvements. A $189,000 investment from the Airport Improvement Program will allow Wellsville Airport to repair its cracked and dated runway. An additional $67,000 grant will be used to install updated lighting along that taxiway, creating a safer environment during low visibility conditions. Senator Schumer says the repair runway and lighting along the taxiway will improve airport safety, thereby bringing more business and travelers to the southern tier. And according to Senator Gillibrand, this is an important investment for the Wellsville Municipal Airport and will help improve access to the southern tier and to strengthen the local economy. About 100 people will be jobless tomorrow. All of the employees who have been employed at the AFA plant in Asheville, New York will lose their jobs tomorrow when the plant shuts down a few weeks ahead of the scheduled October date. The bankrupt plant produced a controversial pink slime food additive in ground beef. The wind turbine issue in Allegheny wasn't up for discussion during Monday's Allegheny Planning Board meeting. Some of the residents who had picketed the meeting earlier were on hand, waiting to hear about proposed changes to a proposal of the wind turbines by Everpower Wind. The company recently requested a change in turbine model that would be installed in the Knapp Creek and Chipmunk areas. The new models would have larger rotors, and that could mean reducing the number from 29 to 26. While you can expect to pay more for that fall apple cider this year, the Western New York apple crop is down by about 40%. That means the cost to get the fruit has doubled, although the price on the shelf hasn't gone up that much. Analysts believe it will be more of a 20 to 25% increase on the store shelves. The good news, the dry weather that may have cut down on the fruit production also caused the fruit that is available to be much sweeter. You might want to hurry since the apples are less in number. Production could end earlier than expected. WVTT's Ashley Masala will have more on that story next week. University of Pittsburgh at Bradford will host 2 safety seminars intended to educate supervisors on employee safety around oil and gas wells under the regulations set by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Each session, which will come in 2 parts, will be held from 8:30 in the morning till noon in room 200 of the Seneca building in Bradford. It'll cost about $32 per person. St. Bonaventure University student athletes will take part in the 7th annual Great Strides Taking Steps to Cure Cystic Fibrosis Walk on Saturday, September 15th at St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Salamanca. Everyone is invited to join the walk or donate to the cause. The 1.5-mile walk was launched about 6 years ago by St. Bonaventure head strength and conditioning coach Darren Fisk. Fisk's 7-year-old nephew, Andrew, was born with cystic fibrosis, a terminal disease that affects the lungs and digestive systems of the body. Fisk has pledged that if the athletic department, including those teams participating, can raise between $2,000 and $2,500 before Saturday, he will push a sled carrying 200-pound weights around the 1.5-mile layout. Registration for the walk begins at 10 a.m. In addition to the walk, there will be free food, music, Chinese auctions, and drawing for prizes. Since it was launched, the event has raised more than $100,000 towards cystic fibrosis research. 37-year-old Alec Bellick of Olean learned on Monday he will serve 6 years of sex offender probation, which means he will not spend any time behind bars but will be closely watched. He previously admitted to sex abuse and second-degree sexual conduct against a child under 11. He must also register as a level 1 sex offender. Stay tuned for more of this 6 o'clock report coming up next.